What's up guys, I'm Taylor with TK Disc Golf and welcome back to the channel, and today we are looking at the Proton Tempo from Axiom Discs. This is Jermey Koling's first Tour Series disc and it is featured in a new plastic type called Particle Glow. It's got Eclipse Glow pigment built into the clear Proton core, giving it a cool starry night effect when glowing at night. If you've never thrown the Tempo before, it's got the flight numbers 4 speed, 4 glide, 0 turn, and 2.5 fade, giving it a nice, moderately overstable flight to it. Lower profile, so it's comfortable for backhands and forehands. But before we dive into the review, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 4,000 subs, and that's our next milestone we're trying to hit. We're on Team MVP, so all of our content on this channel is MVP exclusive and has been for the past 10 years. So without further ado, let's dive into the review. Now, as you're about to see, our throwing field was completely covered in snow and it was freezing cold outside. It was about 20 degrees, so I only threw about a dozen shots or so before I wanted to get back into my warm car and head home. It was definitely way colder than I'm used to, but I wanted to get this video out for you guys, so I suffered through it for you. The Tempo, with its moderate overstability and lower profile, is the perfect tool for you, whether you're trying to throw hyzers, flat or anhyzers, forehands, you name it, this disc can do it all. Now, I did bring my Proton Soft Tempo to compare to these Particle Glow version just to see. They're both Proton plastic, and I wanted to see if the Eclipse particles truly affected the flight or not, or if it was just for aesthetics. And I will say that they honestly both flew the same. There was no extra stability for the Particle Glow version, not like the Eclipse Tempo that a lot of people have been saying is overstable. I do have one of those on the way, but I have not thrown it yet. So next video, I will be comparing the Eclipse Tempo to the AVR X3, which was Big Germ's previous bread and butter for forehands and all that stuff. Flat releases, no problem getting it to fly laser straight for the first 70% of the flight before it would want to punch out of it towards the end with a forward penetrating fade. Hard hyzers, no problem holding those all the way to the ground, and a little bit of skip on this icy snow mix, whatever you want to call it. And then anhyzer releases, this is where I honestly like throwing the Tempo backhand because it can really commit to that anhyzer release, holds it for a very, very long time, pans out and hits nice and flat, or might come back to center a little bit if you give it enough height. Over the past year or so, the Tempo has become one of my favorite putters off the tee and for approach shots, just because it is so good with its moderate overstability. You can trust it to not turn and burn on you. You can throw it as hard as you want. It's going to go super straight and have that late, nice bite to it that you want. I throw it on a lot of shots where there's a tunnel shot straight ahead with a long curve around to the left on a right-hand backhand. I'll throw it on a nice hyzer and it'll go around the corner. Obviously, it was too cold for me to stay out in the elements too long, so I only just threw a dozen throws in the field. But I've hit a couple cool aces with my Neutron and Proton Tempo over the past year or so on film, ironically. But I think the thing that most people are going to be excited for is the Particle Glow plastic that MVP has cooked up here. Super, super cool to see the Eclipse pigments built into a clear Proton core. Obviously, the version I have is a clear core, but I think it'll be offered in their full Proton lineup, so you could get a blue core or a pink or an orange, and that glow pigment in there will help the disc glow that actual color. So the version I have is a clear core with Big Germ's, I guess, Lionheart stamp. I'm not sure exactly when the stamp will be out. Eric from MVP sent this one to me kind of ahead of time as a gift, so I don't have much information on the stamp, but I do know that this one is glowing like a green color, while others could be glowing like blue or purple when all the pigments in the core are lit up with a UV light. The starry night effect is super, super cool in person. It's not as bright as like the full-blown Eclipse plastic that you're used to, so a lot of people have complained that MVP Eclipse plastic is too bright. So I think this could be a cool stepping stone for those people that want long-lasting glow but don't want the insane brightness of the full-blown Eclipse. Now, I will say that this one is on the dimmer side. Like, it's visible, it's super cool in person, and it holds the glow for quite a while, but I think they could bump it up a notch. If they doubled the amount of Eclipse pigment that was in this, I think it would be a really, really cool offering for people to use actually during their glow rounds. Honestly, you could still throw this. Like, I'd have no problem throwing the disc and going to find it about 7-8 minutes later, but if you were helping a buddy find a disc and all of a sudden 20 minutes have gone by, it might be a little too dim to find. So if they were to double the amount of the Eclipse pigment in this, I think that would be a much better offering if this does make a stock release, if this isn't just a one-off, is what I'm saying. But overall, I'm super impressed with this new plastic type. I can't wait to see what they do with it in the future. I typically don't do follow-up reviews on a disc that's already been released, such as the Tempo and multiple different plastics, but for Big Germ, obviously we're going to take a look at his new Tour Series disc because it's a super cool offering that a lot of the newcomers to MVP are going to really enjoy. If you want to see more from our channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. All of our content on this channel is MVP, so be sure to check us out, and we will see you on the next review.